Hi folks, Hollis from HollisEaster.com here. We're talking about bike brakes today. In my last video I talked about the easy way to adjust your bike so that you'll have the right amount of brake pull on your handles to have an easy feeling of control when you want to stop your bike. And we talked about the ways that can work and the ways that won't work. And one of them is if your brake cable is too long, if there isn't enough adjustment capability left in it, you're going to have to look for some other things. And maybe your cable's just gotten stretched, it's a little too long, or possibly it's gotten damaged. Now, I have an example here of a cable that's just gotten a little stretched out from use. I've been riding on it for a few years and seems still to have plenty of integrity. I'm confident in it, but I'm just going to show you how to shorten it to make sure that you can use your adjuster properly. So you can see here there's this adjuster knob and the lock nut. And if I back that off, I'm hitting this brake travel pretty, there's not much room there, and I'm feeling like I'm about to bottom out if I'm having to stop in a hurry. So normally what I would do is I would be backing this off. I'll just get that out of the way. I would be backing this adjuster off, but you can see that's coming out of the seating because we're basically at the limits of travel here. So I've got to do something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this around right there so that I'm backed well out because I don't want to set everything super tight. And what I'm going to do, so this cable is attached here, comes through this housing, and the housing is actually how we're controlling this tensioning a little bit. By moving the housing and making the housing longer, effectively you've tightened the cable. But then eventually we're going to get down here, and this is a front brake. So it's mounted into this front brake caliper here, and this is just a pressure fit. So the cable comes through here, and there's a little bit of a slot in there, and this nut bears on it. So what we need to do is we need to loosen that up. This is very simple. And then pull a little extra cable through, which has the effect of shortening everything. So I'm going to take a 3/16 Allen wrench and just get that out there. It's a little stuck at first, and you see now it's nice and loose. Okay, so the easy way to do this, remember I left this a little open. This is leaving a little slack, and so what I can do is just close the calipers with my hands and pull the cable so that it's tight. And that means with this adjuster all the way out, the brake will be locked. And so we can then loosen it by moving this housing back in a little bit. And the effect should be that I get the brake, to actuate around here. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so I'm holding this with my hand just to keep that tension on it. And then I'm just going to sort of tighten it back down. As with everything, this is easier when you're not trying to do it on camera. And you don't have to be worried about this. As long as your bolt and everything is in good condition, you're not going to hurt the cable. So you can do this a bunch of times just to check it out, see what tension you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to tighten that a little more than that once we're ready to commit to this. But for right now, okay, so I've tightened it here, and you can see there's not a lot of play there. Looks like maybe that slipped a little bit. So I'm going to loosen that back off. Tighten it up again. And that just shows you this is not a thing that you have to feel afraid of doing multiple times. Okay, yeah, no play in there at all. So what I'm going to do to test it is I'm going to then take this guy and start moving that adjustment knob back in there. And in theory, I should be able to get this so that I get my brakes on, but they're not on all the time. Now on this example, that has still a little too much tension in it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it off one more time. Actually, I'm going to bring this out too. So I'm going to back this off again. Again, this takes a long time to describe, but so I've got this here, and I'm just going to let a millimeter or two of play come through in there. And then try that, see how that goes. It doesn't have to be a precision thing because again you've got this adjuster knob or a nut out here by the brake lever. Okay, so we're not quite locked at full extension there, and so then I should be able to start bringing this back in. Gonna brace that with my arm. So I'm still hearing that a little bit, so it looks like I need to do it one more time. So I'm going to let a little bit more of this cable through there, sort of lengthening it again. So that's clear, it's not braking while I'm spinning it. And then here we are with this knob fully in. Getting a little bit more travel than I'd like, so I'm just going to back this off a little bit. Try that one more time. Spins freely. Good. So then I'm going to just lock the lock nut here, make sure that's good and tight. Good. Do one last tightener here just because having loose brakes is a bad thing. And there we go. That's all you got to do. This is an easy fix. You can check it out yourself. If you feel like you need help, take it to your local bike shop, but this is within pretty much everybody's scope. So feel confident in trying this out. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel and head over to holliseaster.com. I've got lots of other videos on other things. Thanks very much for watching.